Alright guys, sorry for not doing videos last night, man. I was extremely tired, man. I tried to attempt to do a video talking about the OKC Houston game, man. And next thing I know, man, I was snoring on the mic, man. I was extremely tired, man. So I just said, I'm just do it in the morning, man, get some rest, and I'll just recap these games in the morning. And then I'll follow the games that come on this afternoon for you guys. Ooh, yeah, some playoff games come on this afternoon. Get to watch them uninterrupted. Might got to work during the week, though, sometimes. So, all right. Bulls Celtics. Pissed me off as a Bulls fan. I'm going to tell you something. It's like the Chicago Bulls made a deal with the devil in the 90s, right? And it's like after that, he's collecting. Like, he's torturing us Bulls fans. Like, we think we're going to make that corner. We're going to, achieve. I mean, we're not going to do what we did in the 90s. That was a dynasty, okay? But, just to be a contender, just to be the Eastern Conference Finals, we had those years with Derrick Rose where it looked like we were turning the corner, and then, found out he's made of, pinata innards or some shit. And, we just haven't been able to get back to anywhere really close to where we were before. So here we are this year, 41-41, uneven throughout the entire year. A team that on one night can beat the Golden State Warriors, and then the next night we'll lose by 20 to the Charlotte Bobcats. That's the Chicago Bulls, okay? But miraculously, we were up 2-0 against the first-seeded Boston Celtics, primed to sweep this team going home. I was nervous. I said, something's going to happen. Rajon Rondo out indefinitely, fractured finger. There you go. There you go. I knew it was coming. God damn it, I knew it was coming. Celtics were a desperate team going into Game 3. Changed their lineup. I think they inserted Gerald Green into the lineup. Played with a lot more energy. Isaiah Thomas actually had help. Balanced scoring throughout. They looked for each other. Whenever I see a team that involves a lot of ball movement, whenever you see that basketball just not stand in one player's hands consistently, that team generally wins 9 out of 10 games. Shit, 9.5 out of 10 games, to be honest with you. You had to do a fraction or a percentage, whatever. And you see it. Al Horford, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Avery Bradley, 15 points. Okay. I think Isaiah Thomas had something like 16 points. And 16 points and 9 assists. So, I mean, you had all of this balanced scoring for the Boston Celtics. And with the Chicago Bulls, you saw none of that. And that's why we lost. I mean, I think Jimmy Butler had one of his worst games. Probably the worst game of the playoffs so far. Let me see who else. Trying to still look for this team. Jay Crowder had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Okay, for Chicago Bulls, Jimmy Butler, only 7 of 21 shooting from the floor, 14 points. I think he had no assists. Wade had an okay game. But another key was that our bench really didn't have a guy that really just stepped up and overperformed, I guess. Paul Zipser didn't have a tremendous game. Bobby Portis, after Game 1, the explosion for 19 points at Game 1, he's been held, and he really hasn't performed very well since then. And you can see the team was desperately missing Rajon Rondo. Take him out of the game. You have to have some type of facilitator for the offense, and we really didn't have that. Talking about the Chicago Bulls, and we lose by a final count of 104-87. We still lead, but I feel really shaky right now as a Bull fan. I really do. Yeah, I just don't know what to say. Like, I'm like this. Maybe I'm old school, but if I was Rondo right now, unless that finger is severely broken, I'd tape that son of a bitch up and play it game 4. I mean, because this is the playoffs. Like, I'm not really feeling sorry for most players right now. I know some people are like, oh, Michael, he's injured. I'm old school, man. Like Bill Russell. Unless my fucking goddamn leg is falling off, you gotta play, man. It's a difference between being hurt and being injured. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, no, inject me with something, do something. No, I didn't get to this point just to let a minor injury. And yeah, I know a fractured finger isn't necessarily minor, but I remember a playoff game where Michael Jordan dislocated his a finger on his shooting hand, I believe it was, and they, I think, pushed that bitch back in and taped it. And it's like as long as he went to test the dribble, see if he could dribble basketball, and he could dribble it, and he went right back in the motherfucker. Okay, fuck that. This is the playoffs, man, and this was a playoff game, by the way. This is the playoffs. No, get your ass out there, man. And that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Even though the Bulls are up 2-1, I'm a little bit nervous if I'm a Bulls fan, man. A little bit nervous. Because Boston may have been awakened from their slumber. It's like, I'm borrowing a line here. Okay, this isn't my original line, but I think it's a good line. I remember an author was saying that the death of China Thomas had put a black cloud over the Boston Celtics, and they didn't know exactly. It kind of took something out of them. Okay, I'm pretty sure Isaiah Thomas is still grieving, but he may be in another place mentally where I know what it's like to lose a loved one. Although I never lost a loved one that tragically, well, at least someone that close to me. But I know there's this shock and sadness, you know, but then there's also a level of anger. Why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to my sister? And I know this sounds stupid to some people, but when you're competitive, like playing competitively or whatever you're doing, sometimes you do little mental tricks. Sometimes you have to focus whatever little anger or something you're feeling, you focus it toward your opponent. I mean, I know that sounds dumb, but I don't know what Boston is right now. But even though we're up 2-1, I feel kind of precarious right now because I think it's almost like a sleeping giant in Boston has awoken. And I just think that this team is going to play different from now. You know, and we're still talking about the Bulls. The Bulls were up 2-0, but they didn't go 500 in the regular season for nothing. Okay? They're a team that goes up and down, up and down. So even though we're up 2-1, I feel really insecure about this series. Like, as a Bulls fan, I think we still possibly could lose this series, man. Very, very possible. But who knows? Tell me what you guys think.